Our next speaker, you're in for a treat. He's advancing through the Toastmasters program here very diligently. Dave Hill is going to be our speaker. He recently advanced to compete in the 2004 World Championship of Public Speaking semifinals by winning the District 50 International Speech Contest. The semifinal event will take place in Malaysia this August. Today, Dave is looking for your critical feedback to make his speech more effective. During the interim between his first attempt at the World Championship of Public Speaking in 2004 and his second run at the championship, Dave Hill has become a professional speaker who helps leaders and engineers succeed through his keynote speeches, seminars, and workshops. He has published 2 books and is also a speech coach. Dave is known as the Re-Engineered Engineer. Grace Tyler, Executive Committee Chair at the Chinese Institute of Engineers, once wrote, "Dave is a dynamic speaker with a passion to help others. He has tremendous talents in using humor and personal stories to get this message imprinted in the heart of his audience." The speech Dave is practicing today is his World Championship finalist speech that he will use if he wins the semifinals. The title is the Follicle Challenges. Please help me welcome District 50's Re-Engineered Engineer, Advanced Toastmaster Gold, Competent Leader, wow, Dave Hill. Woo!
When I was 21 years old, the family baldness gene exploded inside my head. I woke up one morning and my pillow, which only the night before had been clean and pristine, it was covered in hair. It looked like a Malayan tiger had coughed up a giant fur ball. I went to the mirror. I didn't like what I saw. I was bald, I was short, and my ears stuck out. My mother, with her not always precise, positive outlook, said, "Ah, Davy boy, sure you're going to have great listening skills with ears sticking out like that." Mother, I'm 21 years old. I don't want great listening skills. I want to be able to get a date. Mr. Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, and especially all the follically challenged people here today, life is going to hand us challenges to deal with. Today I'm going to share with you some personal memories to show you that these challenges, they can be turned around, to find the positive outlook, the humor, and most important, the inspiration of others. To start this journey, let me take you back 25 years to my wedding day. And a 94-year-old woman came walking up towards my new bride and I. She was going to give us her words of wisdom on marriage. Kids, don't go to bed angry. Communicate. Work your problems out. At the time, those words meant absolutely nothing to me. I was gooey-eyed in love. We were never going to fall out. But fast forward to our first wedding anniversary. Picture my wife wearing her silk negligee in the kitchen, and she is ripping open a giant package, wondering what token of love I had bought her. She went quiet when she saw a small wooden multi-purpose kitchen stepladder. I broke the silence. I undid some wing nuts. The stepladder folded over to become a chair. She was still silent. I undid some more wing nuts. The back of the chair, it flipped up to become an ironing board. She seemed to get focused on the fact that I was giving her a wooden ironing board as an anniversary gift. And that night, I was still in the doghouse. She was unusually quiet, and she was wearing flannel pajamas for the first time. I remember the words of that 94-year-old woman, and I went to my wife and I said, I'm so sorry, I'm an engineer, I'm not good at shopping. And that night, we talked, we laughed, and I learnt that tools, appliances, and pseudo ironing boards, they don't make good anniversary gifts. A couple of years later, we had children. New challenges. But these challenges are absolutely nothing compared to the adorable memories you get from those early childhood years. Imagine my son, 4 years old, little Eric. He's sitting up in the barber's chair getting ready for his first haircut. And the barber says to him, "Hey, young Eric, so what kind of hairstyle would you like?" Without missing a beat, Eric shouts out, "I want a hairstyle like my daddy." After he got his haircut, a real haircut, we played our favourite game. We stopped on the railway bridge where we were able to look down at the trains and wave at them to get a response. The first 2 trains, the drivers looked up, they gave us a big smile, a wave, and a toot toot on the horn. The third train driver, a young bald-headed guy with a tattoo on his scalp, scowled. There was no wave. There was no toot toot. I clenched my fists in anger. I was having my first case of railroad rage. And then young Eric, with a little frown on his face, he said, "Daddy, the train horn must have been broken." Sometimes the challenges we face are the big ones. And once I had a friend about 7 years ago, a guy called Ephraim, and he phoned me up. "Dave, I've got lymphoma, stage 4. I'm doing radical chemotherapy to try and beat this sucker. I need your prayers. I need your positive outlook, and I need your humor to try and beat this." I was living here in Dallas. Ephraim was living in Houston. I got in my car, and I drove for 5 hours. I banged on his door. He opened it up, kind of stood back wondering what the heck I was doing there, and I immediately shouted at him, "Ephraim Shire, it is not fair. Here you are with stage 4 lymphoma, radical chemotherapy, and you still have more hair than me." Ephraim looked at me and says, "You come in, you crazy Irishman, and have a cold beer." Fellow Toastmasters, life is going to hand us challenges to deal with. And we must all be able to turn them over to find the positive outlook, the humor, the inspiration of others, whether they're 4 years old or whether they're 94 years old. Mr. Chairman.